Hello and welcome to this first session on Tangle Coasters. So as I explained in the introductory session, I have prepared this MDF coaster, applied a layer of Mod Podge, and it is now smooth enough to be, tangled on. So as I mentioned, I will be using black Identity pen and I will be using my Posca white. This is 0.7 mm. You can also use a Posca black. Yeah, Identity pens work fine on MDF, so I thought of using these pens. I would also use a brown, yeah, and then please keep your white chalk pencil or your white color pencil or watercolor pencil, whatever is readily available, handy, apart from a pencil and two blending stumps, yeah. So let us get started. So we are going to keep things simple. So today the tangle that I'm going to be working on is cadent tangliation. Yeah, so I'm going to work on cadent tangliation today. Yeah, also called as triangular cadent. So since I mentioned that, as mentioned earlier, I will be using only one tangle, yes, on one coaster to keep it simple. Although you can, if you like, use a mix of tangles, please go ahead with that. Yeah, so let's get started. So I'll use my pencil to broadly just add a circle inside, yeah, just as a reference for my cadent that I am going to be drawing in the center, moving up to the sides, so leaving a little distance from the corners. Yeah, so that's, I think I'll reduce it. Yeah, so that's a broad circle that I've drawn, and now you can pick up your Identity pen. So the main orbs and the main line work will be from the broader side. So I am going to use the broad nib of the Identity pen and then add these orbs. Yeah, because I want them to be prominent enough. Yeah, so about 6 of them with a center orb, and then the classic S stroke. Yeah, join these orbs with the S stroke using your broader nib of the Identity pen. So at times jelly roll doesn't work too well on this, and I thought that's why to use a Posca, which is a paint marker, but you can try using a jelly roll also, but at times it spoils the tip. So again the S stroke and joining the orbs the other way. Yeah, simple tangle, cadent tangliation or triangular cadent. Yeah, so now let us move to oraying. So I'm first going to, now I'm switching the nib side and add this small curve or a nut bolt kind of feel to these orbs. Yeah, small little exercise. So you can also do the caviars here, both look fine. Maybe we'll do that in the center. Yeah, so center we can leave a gap and ink the rest like caviar. Yeah, so now we'll start oraying. So I'm just going to go slow and add aura to each side one at a time. So just like a tile, keep rotating your coaster. Yeah, so this is just about the size of the tile, a little marginally bigger. So I'm using the finer nib for adding these auras, and I use the bolder side for the outline. Yeah, so I'm going to leave it here, leave some space inside, stop here, right? Then again the second side, simple exercise, cadent tangulation, a very simple and interesting version of cadent. So adding a layer of Mod Podge gives that smooth surface so that your pen doesn't get damaged. Otherwise, at times MDF surface can be rough to handle. Yeah, so it's a little smoother and it's easier to work with the pen. So one aura at a time to each. Yeah, again rotate and continue in the same fashion. Take your time. And the last. Yeah, so I'll do exactly the same for the other three also. So now that we have done the same exercise for all, let us add a thin aura. So using the same side of my pen, that is the thinner nib, I'm just going to mimic or outline the shape, add an aura. Yeah, right. So the next step would be using the brown, right? So I'm going to again pick up my brown Identity pen and add auras just like Senna, not exactly Senna but auras which somewhat look like Senna, and then we will ink alternatively, right? So first I'm going to add these auras. Whatever shape comes to your mind, go ahead with that. Yeah, and again you can start like this. So I'm just using my brown pen to add auras in a Senna fashion. Yeah, again you can go back like this. So these curls provide you an opportunity to maneuver the shape of your auras, and you can curl it, you can add more curls. So I have more space here, so I'm adding more curls. Yeah, simple exercise, nothing complex, just auras. Again, Yeah, so I'm going to continue like this. Again, you can start from here. Nice waves. Yeah, so I'm not thinking much where, how, just taking cue from the outline of the cadent and maneuvering my lines. Again, so you can come back like this and then meet here. Yeah, so we are done with that exercise. Now let us ink alternatively. Yeah, so I am using my brown pen only and going to probably switch to the broader side because inking would be faster with the broader side. However, if you're more comfortable doing it with the thinner nib, please go ahead. Yeah, so I'm going to be inking alternate spaces. You may leave a highlight also, or we shall see if we want to use the chalk pencil or the color pencil to do that. Yeah. So although MDF itself is brown, but the brown, in fact the tan effect, the brown pen, as it looks nice on a tanned paper also, so does on MDF. So even if we are tangling on a tan paper, we generally use a brown or a burgundy because it looks really nice, and we use a lot of whites. So I think you got a hold of what I'm going to be doing. So I'm just going to keep inking like this. Yeah. So whether it gives the effect of striping or it gives the effect of senna, whatever you would like to call it. So just auras. Yeah. So I'm almost done here. Just finishing the last few inking alternate sections as I told you. So switching my pens wherever required because spaces are now small. So this is an advantage with the Sakura Identi pen. So you can switch between the nib size in one pen itself. Yeah. So now that we are done with the oraing, now let us switch to our Posca. Yeah, or you can use your jelly roll, whichever is readily available with you, not a problem. So I'm going to add a little here, just like nut bolts. Yeah. Add some here and then add small orbs inside. Yeah, so the nib is pretty thin, so you can consider using it to add orbs inside like these. Yeah, so go slow, take your time. It's a paint marker, so you have to be little easy. Yeah, again, as I told you, if you have a jelly roll, you can try doing that with your jelly roll. It will work, at times it doesn't, but it generally does. Yeah, again, because O8 has a even thinner nib, so that would be nice. Yeah, and then if you want, you can add some dots, embellish. Yeah, so I'm going to add dots on this line. Like this. Yeah, again go slow, take your time. So you can see how beautiful white looks on MDF. Yeah, so again going with the next. The first aura is generally white, so that's the reason I have picked it up. You can always choose an in-between aura, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, again so real fun with these pens, simple tangles, and it's just about interesting stationery, and you can see how beautiful the look. I personally like to work with minimum stationery, so I still consider myself pretty conservative in that regard. Yeah, I have very limited stationery, but yeah, if you want to try new things, try out different mediums, Zentangle on different mediums, then probably these will, it would be nice to keep them handy. I do these things once in a while, so I generally don't stock them. Yeah, so done with that exercise. Let us now move to shading and we shall see what else do we want to do. So give it 2 minutes to dry up, right? So we'll see if we want to emphasize lines once again later. So we are now going to shade, right? So just like we do for our tiles, I'm going to add graphite. So you might want to choose a darker, this is a 6B, or you can use a 4B probably, so that your shading shows, yeah, a darker pencil. So even if you don't, I think it will show, that's okay, a normal HB pencil, whatever is easily available. Yeah, and then some around this orb. Yeah, and then on the outside, just on the aura that you have given. So graphite shows fine on MDF, so you can always think about shading. That's perfectly okay. So just add that graphite to the aura that you have added. Yeah, and then I'm going to blend. So use two different stumps. Use the graphite stump for just blending. So you can see here, use a light hand and it is blending pretty well. Yes, so it's real fun. Take it easy, I'm not pressing too hard. At times jelly roll doesn't take the shading also very well, it starts to chip off, so that's one more reason why a paint marker would be a little better option. Yeah. Again blending around. Yeah, and then the outside. Take it easy, just blend, just smudge the graphite. Yeah, so move it away. Yeah, so now that we have blended the graphite also, now let me re-emphasize a few places. For example, the inside, the inner aura. Yeah, because it has been covered to an extent by the orbs, so you might want to redo it. Not the others, just the innermost. Yeah, yeah, and the last one. Yeah, now I will pick up my white chalk. Yeah, so now going to add highlights on the petal shapes or the cadent auras like this. Yeah, the way we generally do on our normal tile also. It's the same shading procedure that I am following, just that the tools are a little different. So you can see white chalk is working fine here. At times it doesn't work, so keep your color pencil also handy. So in case it is not working, you can quickly switch to your color pencil. Yeah, again adding here. So since white looks pretty nice on tan, so chalk pencil is important on MDF, touches of white. Yeah, and then I'm going to add white here in between my auras. Yeah, all throughout. So I don't think inking will be that nice an idea, because it will be very made up, or I don't want the white to be that prominent also. So when I shade it, I want to be a little subtle, So that's why the chalk. Yeah. So just take your time and add chalk to all the in between spaces. Yeah, so you can see at few places it is not working, that's okay. If most of the places it is working, it's okay. Yeah, so just go on. See the lift that the white adds to your coaster. Isn't it amazing? Simple chalk pencil. That's why we say the tools, gratitude towards the tools at most, because they are really beautiful tools. Yeah, they create magic. Yeah, so I'm now just going to use another stump and blend it. Yeah, just make sure it is not the usual stump. Yeah, so let us now just soften it. I'm not going to press much, I'm just going to soften. Just brush off the extra in a way. Yeah, and then on the sides. Yeah, done. And then just brush off the extra from these. Just soften it. Whatever extra chalk is showing, it will just smoothen out. Yeah, and I think we are done. We are done. That's our coaster for today. So one last thing that I am going to do is add one more layer of Mod Podge over my completed coaster. If you wish and if you are used to, you can use a fixative spray also, but I am more comfortable with Mod Podge. So I am going to pour some Mod Podge here. So I'm just going to pour a little layer here and then apply one more layer using my, you can also use a brush, whatever is easily available with you. Yeah, so I'm just going to probably put something below. Yeah, and just dab it over. Yeah, so that I'm going to seal, just with a very light hand run over it. Yeah, and just give it a few minutes to dry up and our coaster will be ready. Yeah, so the Mod Podge has dried up and this is our coaster for today. Isn't it lovely? Yeah, so we'll meet again with another new Tangle coaster idea. Yeah, so follow me on my channel, and if you've still not applied for membership, do consider. Yeah, bye bye, take care.